if you are in a bed that is on the floor, I mean, literally on the floor, and there's a mat next to it, there can be no fall. That, like, it's just physics. There's nowhere to go. You know, he's going to roll on a mat, and then this becomes a non-issue, and certainly saves a lot of operational time. Someone who's falling off of a low bed, like, that's still a fall, and there's still a significant risk of injury there. And of course, the higher the bed is, the higher the risk of injury. Again, this is just like physics, right? That velocity gets higher, the impact is more. So we have to look at that kind of cost benefit analysis of, well, wouldn't it be for people for whom it is appropriate, you know, isn't it more beneficial to them to not risk having that fall if they are rolling out of bed, especially if we are not allowed to have any sort of rail on the bed. And if we can partner it with the floor mat, and I should say the floor mat for Accora is the same height as the floor bed, so there's no drop at all for that. People are literally just rolling.
When they're rolling in bed, and if they have a limb extending over their mattress, that's when they tend to step out of bed, and then we have a fall. But when you have the bed, you have the Accora bed to the ground, and you have the safety mat next to it, they're rolling over, but that safety mat is there as an extension to their bed. They just either fall right back to sleep or kind of roll back over. So, you know, they're not even necessarily rolling off the safety mat, because this ends up being like I don't know the measurements, but it's almost like they have a queen size bed, you know, in their room. This is how I was introduced to the Accora bed. I had a resident who she would fall 3 times a day. And one of my staff members actually visualized her putting herself on the floor, and she was crawling out into the hallways. And I was desperate. I mean, we tried every fall intervention in the book, and we just hit a wall. And then I came across this bed and implemented it, and she did not fall again. I mean, it was incredible. And, you know, sometimes she did still crawl out of the room, but her sleep improved. You know, and I think it's because of that safety mat being on the side, and then she was getting out on the other side. So what did we do? We put a safety mat then on the other side. So yeah, I see someone just can you put on both sides? Absolutely. You absolutely can.
This is a big hot topic now. And we all know that bed rails cannot be used as a restraint, and a facility must attempt to use an appropriate alternative prior to installing a side or a bed rail. And what are some alternatives? It could be a roll guard, it could be bumpers, it could be lower beds, concave mattresses. Accora has a floor bed that has an adaptable height, length, width. It goes down as low as 3.9 inches, which is very, very low. So that is a great alternative for bed rails. But also it will raise to 31.5 inches to provide nursing care. It has extensions for bariatric patients, for your taller patients. So it is definitely a viable option to help you not use bed rails.